What you're about to listen to is a Bry-Fy production.
Yo, it's Bry-Fy coming live through your Wi-Fi. One-man show, but I'm feeling like a sci-fi. Comic books, video games, catching them all. Pokemon cards stacked, yeah, I'm ready to brawl. From Marvel to DC, I break it all down. Nifty nerd news, got the geeky rundown. Pop culture hits, movies and shows. I stay in the know while the fandom grows. So plug in, tune up, press play, let's ride. This is the Bry-Fy, baby, welcome to the vibe.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Bry-Fy podcast. I'm your host, Bry-Fy, your comics guy, and hey, back on the good mic. So yeah, I had a day off. Decided on the day off, why not record? You know, just sit down instead of spending time with my family. Valuable, precious, lovely time with my family, and spend it with you guys. No, we had fun today. We went outside. That was great. Got to go to the high school track, ride around. RJ was riding the scooter, which he loves a scooter, by the way. It's funny because I try to get him to do bikes, skateboard, like any other kind of mode of transportation. And his two favorites are a three-wheel scooter, not two wheels. He prefers the three-wheel. And I thought it was a balance issue, but I watched him balance like on a two-wheel scooter. So I don't know, man. I mean, it was a little more wobbly than he was on the three-wheel, but he loves the three-wheel. Like that's like the one he grew up with. It's his favorite, right? And then the other thing he really likes are roller skates. It's so funny when we go to a roller rink. He doesn't like to do a lot of things, but he does like to go to a roller rink, which is a whole lot of fun for all, because me and my wife, we like skating as well. And you know, he did pretty good when we went ice skating too. Thought that was going to be an issue because prior to the ice skates, you know, the one line blade type thing, he never did inline skates. He always had like the 4-wheel roller skates. So I don't know, but those are like his two favorite modes of transportation. He doesn't even really like tricycles. I thought like, oh, you know, like it's a balance issue. Let's get him like one of those big kid tricycles. And no, he's not a big fan. Maybe it's just too much work. Like he's like, ugh, I gotta pump my legs for this. Nah. But yeah, so we went out, had some fun. One of the big things, so Casey, her mother passed away a couple years ago. And the high school that her and I had graduated from and that her mother worked at did commemorative bricks. You paid for a brick, you put a message on it. It's really nice, like in memorandum bricks, or just, you know, bricks. Like you didn't have to die to get these bricks. Like you just had to pay the money for it, right? So I could go out and get like a Bry-Fy podcast brick if I wanted to right now, which would be kind of really funny. Actually, that would probably be very funny. I should know, but and honestly, getting her mother's brick was such an ordeal. It really took way longer than it should have. Many phone calls, company swaps. Like we felt like we were getting the runaround at one point. Like it was just such a fight and a battle. And we all had but like steeled ourselves that this wasn't going to happen. Like the school just jacked it all up and like wasn't going to do it. Like they were just like whatever. And so we kind of just steeled ourselves that this wasn't going to be a thing. It wasn't going to happen. And today when we went to the track, it's like a walking track, like a mile long walking track that goes around the property of the school. But where you pull up is near the beginning, the front of the football stadium, and that's where the bricks are, the commemorative bricks. That's a very hard word for me to say. And so me and RJ were just riding scooters. I was playing with the electric one to see how long the battery lasted with it, which is a very long time, by the way. And we were riding around, and when I turned around to come back towards where Casey was on the sidewalk, I noticed some dirt, not like brick parts and sand, gravel stuff, just like in a pile right next to like where some bricks were. And I stopped and I kind of looked at Casey, and like she kind of looked at me because I don't think she really saw it yet. And then I looked down, and there it was. There was her mother's brick. We've been waiting 2 years for to get laid down. And it really felt like a type of closure. Like this is something that we've been waiting on and wanting to do for her. And it just was this ongoing thing. And now that it's there, now that it's laid down, it's like it's finally like this chapter that we've been waiting to finish is finally closed. I don't know. It was such an ordeal, man. It was a big thing. Like we were happy, you know, like all the frustration and all the sad days and angry days when dealing with the people that did the bricks, like it all just melted away. You know, it all seems so trivial now and like nothing now because it's there. It's finally there. And it's not like they clearly could have done this a long time ago. In fact, there were other sets of bricks that got laid down prior to ours, which was upsetting, but it's done now. And so we're really happy for that. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's what we did today on my off day. And then tomorrow night, back at it, man. Go back to work, hit the grind. The outage is past the halfway point now, which I'm excited. So now, not that it's going to be downhill, but, you know, it's all downhill from here, right? Until we get ready to ramp back up to power, and then things are going to get really exciting and very just bleh. And then hopefully everything goes well, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled podcasting from the Bry-Fy podcast. So hopefully that all happens. So yeah, anyway, that's all that I got as far as like what we've been up to. Let's see what's been going on in the world of nifty nerd news. All right, guys. So up first in the nifty nerd news, there's some Nintendo rumors a-brewing. So big news is like this year is the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda series. So obviously there's big rumors spreading. I mean, of course, big celebrations, right? Because I mean, what game, when you think of like greatest video games of all time, like this, like the Legend of Zelda series has to have a video game on anybody's top 10 list. I think. I think just about anyone that was born in the 19th century, no, or 20th century, right? Yeah, 20th century. So in the 1900s, if you will, like the Legend of Zelda, a game from that franchise has touched your life and been a part of your life and part of your gaming experience. Of course, me, like a lot of people, probably a lot of millennials, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time played a huge role in our video game careers. And one of the big rumors that's been bubbling around but hasn't yet been quite confirmed yet is that Nintendo is potentially making a remake of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And this remake, from what some people are speculating, will be a complete remake, like engine and everything. It's not just going to be a visual upgrade on an old game. Like they're really going to remake this, potentially with new or expanded areas to explore, but really with the same classic storyline and a little bit more of that classic gameplay, where, you know, with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you know, is very open world, not extremely guided. You really kind of picked and choosed how your adventure went, where I think maybe with the Ocarina of Time, it would probably be a smaller map, a little more linear, still with some open world aspects, because I mean that was like one of the cool things about Ocarina of Time, right? Is like it felt open world, like you had to traverse a giant area to get from one place to the next. So that was really cool. But there were, you know, loaded places. But I think a move back to dungeons and things like that could be really fun, man. So I'm really excited to see if this is really to happen. Like, I'm really excited to see what they can do with it. But, you know, only time will tell. There's supposed to be a Nintendo Direct coming up. I don't know when exactly, but I know one should be coming out later, maybe not later this year, but in time. So maybe we can have some good news there. Another big rumor spinning around from Nintendo is well, and first off, this is no rumor, but we do know now that we're getting Star Fox in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which has led people to speculate that, hey, maybe we're getting a new Star Fox game, which would be really cool, even if it's a remake of the old one, but now like way cooler with updated graphics and things like that. I'm totally down for that, man. And a lot of people believe this is probably going to happen because like when the first Super Mario movie came out and it heavily featured Donkey Kong, and then, you know, Donkey Kong Bonanza came out, they're thinking maybe this is like how they're going to build excitement for the Star Fox for a new Star Fox game. But only time will tell, right? Like I said, with Legend of Zelda, there's a Nintendo Direct that's going to be coming out, so maybe we'll get some news and maybe we'll get some reports. Who knows? There are some other, like, what makes me think some of these rumors might be true is supposedly there's some other people with inside information that are saying Nintendo's pissed that these rumors are out, like that it's potentially a leak of information and they are upset and looking for blood. So that's kind of what has a lot of people excited, thinking, well, maybe this is true, maybe this is real. So we'll have to see. Moving into not some good news. It looks like if you're a console gamer, you're cooked, bro. So PlayStation just announced that the PS5, you know, the system that's been out for like 5 or 6 years, is going to be increasing in price by up to $150 more now. So it's crazy. So back, you know, 5-6 years ago when you bought it for like $400, now you're gonna have to buy it for $550. Or well, I guess now it's more like $650 to $700. Now is what we're looking at for it, which is crazy, man. Like, and a lot of people are upset by this because I think a lot of people, much like myself, like when we would buy consoles back in the day, they didn't get more expensive with time. They got cheaper because no one wanted them, or like no one wanted to play them. But maybe we're in this weird place where, you know, like the PS5s and the Xbox One X's are still valuable systems that can play these games. And so because of that, maybe it's scarcity. PlayStation, of course, and I'm sure other companies will follow and have been blaming a lot of price increases on PCs and things like that due to RAM and the scarcity of RAM, because, you know, AI data centers are buying it all up to just ruin our planet, ruin our world, even though they make really fun songs. But like, I don't know, man. Like it sucks. And then we know that Microsoft and Xbox is planning on a new console coming up with Project Helix. And now the speculation on the price of that is just skyrocketing. And they're thinking it could be, some people are thinking it's going to be $1,500 to $2,000 just for this thing that could be a console and a PC, or like a weird hybrid thing. I don't know, man. Like, maybe console gaming is dead. I don't know, but then like you look at the Switch 2, and I love the Switch 2, and the price on it is still decent, man. For a handheld, $500. It's popular. Games on it are good. It's funny because despite everything that Nintendo does wrong, it does so many things right as well. Or like at least the companies that make games on Nintendo do so many things right. So it's I don't know, man. It's although my next bit of nifty nerd news, which is funny because it comes off something wrong that Nintendo did, but is being done right for Xbox when this game comes over to it, is the game Dispatch, a game that's taken the internet by storm just a couple of months ago, where you play as a ex-superhero turned dispatcher to help wannabe superhero who are villains who want to be superheroes, and has a fun love interest storyline. Like, that game came to Nintendo and then was censored, but it didn't really tell anybody it was going to be censored, and that game was censored because, I mean, it's a very R-rated game, an adult rated game, and so people were really upset by that when it came to the Switch, and then everyone found out, oh, it's censored. I want to see my dong and boobs and hear cuss words, and I'm not getting that. Well, good news, people. When Dispatch comes to Xbox, it will not be censored. Ad Hoc Studios, who makes the game, did say, one, confirm that it wasn't going to be censored on Xbox, and two, have said they are working with Nintendo on an update for the game on that platform. Now, they didn't specifically say what the update was for, but when you're being asked about censorship on one thing and then you mention, oh, well, we're working with Nintendo on an update for it here, I can only assume that's going to be for an uncensored version on Switch. But like I said, they didn't really clarify it in the interview, but I can only assume that that's what they were speaking about. Moving on to the next bit of nifty nerd news here. Marvel Comics and Magic the Gathering are teaming up for a new comic book promo card and a whole new Marvel comic book Magic the Gathering set that should be releasing later this year. The comic book in question is Avengers Armageddon, which will launch in June. It's going to be written by Chip Zdarsky, Delio Diaz, and Frank Alpizar. And of course, you've heard me just gush over Chip Zdarsky on this podcast so many times. Hell, I got a picture of him on my Instagram where he did an awesome Howard the Duck headshot for me, which I love so much. But it's going to be cool, man. The card that will be coming with the Avengers Armageddon #1 is called Warstorm Surge, and it has art by Ryan Stegman, which is really cool. Ryan Stegman, my first taste of his artwork was with Spider-Man comics, which I thought was really cool. I really liked his artwork, and it looks like that's kind of going to be the thing with this set. I think they're going to feature more comic book artists for this Magic the Gathering set. I think it's going to be really cool, man. I'm really excited to see what they can do. And we've already seen a Magic the Gathering team up with Marvel previously with the recent Spider-Man set. I'm sure they've done some other things. It's been kind of interesting to see Magic the Gathering because I remember when I was playing it back in 2010, 2011, or even in the 14s, because I'm pretty sure I have an M14 stuff that I was collecting back then. But they weren't doing big crossover sets like that that I can ever recall, or maybe they were doing them, but it was like with other fantasy properties that I didn't really recognize as not Magic the Gathering. I'm not 100% sure, but then comes like they've done a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one, of course the Spider-Man stuff. I guess that was more Sony than Marvel. I don't know. I want to say that was Marvel, but you would think if Marvel did that, they would have done something more. Now, if they did Sony really only has Spider-Man, so it makes sense that it would be just Spider-Man based because it was like the Spider-Verse characters, Miles Morales, and all of them. But I don't know. I'm excited for this. I think it's pretty cool because I remember back in the 90s, I don't think you really saw it much with the 2000s, but like there was always comic book trading cards and things like that. I have one from Death of Superman. I think I have a Wolverine one, or no, it was a X-Force one that I have for those comic books. And so it's pretty cool to have those kind of trading cards. What's even cooler is it's probably going to be impossible to find in hundreds of dollars if you do find it from a third market. So yeah, that's great. Thankfully, Pokemon has already set me up to just be numb to the experience. Great. But I don't know. There's not too many Magic the Gathering people here in my town. I always seem to be able to find Magic the Gathering cards still at my local Walmart. Because people just buy out the Pokemon first. I just can't wait till these people just stop buying Pokemon cards. But you know what? I don't let that stop me. I have pivoted from buying current Pokemon to finishing out my vintage sets. So I've been looking online for vintage cards and looking at shops for vintage cards. And so hopefully soon I will complete I have 3 more of my vintage sets I want to complete. I completed my base set, which you can see over on my YouTube channel. There's 3 sets that I've completed, or they call it master setting. It's 151, Pokemon Go, and base set. And I've done videos for all that, just showing all the cards off. And I'm proud of those, man. And so the next 3 sets that I'm working on is Jungle, Fossil, and my Team Rocket set. And those are all vintage sets. And so I want to complete those. I'm probably going to put them in. I got display cases. I think it'd be fun, man. I think it'd be really cool. Plus, those cards, while yes, some have gone up in price, they're not crazy like the new stuff, man. Like, it's just insane, dude. There's like, okay, we're spinning off of nifty nerd news for me to vent, but In the new, like one of the newer sealed packs things that they've released, sealed boxes, whatever you want to call them. It's called like My First Partner, or like First Partner illustration cards. It's a little mini booster pack, like a three card pack that has 3 full art promos of starter Pokemon. So like one pack will have like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. One pack might have what is the Piplup? It's just the 3 starters. I can't remember. I don't care about any of the other ones. I only want Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander, like the Kanto 3, right? Those are the ones that I want. And that's what everyone's buying up. I thought, oh man, clearly these won't be too expensive because like it's a sealed product. You're guaranteed. There's 9 starter cards, and in the booster pack, when you get the 3, they're all going to be from the same generation. So like if you're going to get one of the Kanto Pokemon, the other 2 are going to be the other Kanto Pokemon. Like so you're gonna get those 3 starters from the same game. It's not like a 1 in 9 chance of getting a card that you want. It's you have basically a 30% chance, because if you want a certain starter from a certain set, you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting that set of starters. So I was like, it's not going to be that expensive because it's just going to be super easy to get those cards. Boy, was I wrong. People are lining out the doors for this. I see them online. They're a $20 box set, and people are selling it for $60-$50. Like, what the hell are we doing here, man? It's insane. At this point, I might as well just break down and buy the cards individually online. It seems like they're pretty much $20 to $30 each. So I'm going to be spending close to $90 to get 3 cards. And I really want them. I hate my life. I hate this. I hate these scalpers. I hate it all. I just wish they would go away and let me enjoy my childhood, because this is my midlife crisis. Maybe this is like, I don't know. Like, I feel like these people are in it just to get rich quick and trying to make just so much money off this stuff. And I want to open cards. I want to have fun. My son likes opening cards. I'm hoping this new set, it's called Perfect Order, which doesn't have a Pikachu, doesn't have a Charmander, doesn't have like any of like the super popular Pokemon. So it shouldn't be highly sought after because it's not an expensive set. And so I'm hoping to be able to get some of that so me and my son can open some cards and have some fun, and he can get some stuff that he likes. Like, that's all I want, man. I just want to have fun with my son on something that I used to have fun with when I was his age. And these people ruin it. They absolutely 100% ruin it. And I don't know. I'm over it. Anyway. So yeah, Marvel and Magic the Gathering are teaming up. Off of my soapbox. The last bit of nifty nerd news that I have for you guys today. Life is becoming way more like video games. So scientists have developed a spray that seals life-threatening wounds on the body. This spray, which is a powdery-based substance, can stop bleeding in about 1 second, which is pretty crazy. Now, there have been like spray blood stoppers or whatever. I don't even know what you would call these things. But this one differentiates itself in the way that it acts, man, in the way that it absorbs and seals wounds. So this stuff, which was helped designed by professors Steve Park and Sang-Yong John, basically absorbs blood to form a barrier, where other ones kind of like were a jelly substance or like their own substance that would make these barriers. This stuff is whatever powdery substance, this hemostatic agent, if you will, absorbs blood up to 7 times its own weight in blood, which is a very high absorption rate, by the way. Forms a barrier. It's called an AGCL powder. Don't ask me what that stands for. Just Google it. And it focuses on ionic reactions within the blood. So it's like chemically based to create an ultra fast gelatin that, like I said, can absorb 7 times its body weight and help seal potentially life-threatening wounds. Of course, this was developed for military and disaster relief in mind. And it's like, I mean, you see this. Like, I think of like Halo and other games where they're like, oh yeah, get the biofoam or like whatever. And they spray a wound with this foam stuff, and it's like it helps stabilize them so you can get them and potentially perform surgery to save them. And so it's like seeing these sci-fi video game items now starting to become real life is pretty insane. And with this AGCL powder stuff, they also developed it with harsh environments in mind. So it can be stored in harsher environments. It can be used in harsher environments. And like ultimately, like I think about it less in the military sense and more in the disaster relief sense, or like this could be very valuable. This could be really useful and helpful device to see. I have no idea what the cost is on it or anything like that, but like this is a good thing. This is something to be happy about. Like having like a crazy wound and being able to just spray this foam and really help someone and give them a chance at survival. Whereas they, like I work in an industrial environment where there's a lot of spinning parts and crushing parts and all kinds of things that could cause you harm if you're not careful. And if I had this foam that could help someone or potentially even help myself, if I found myself in an accident, I would want that. I would want every chance at survival I can get, because we're out in the middle of nowhere. It takes an ambulance like 25 to 30 minutes just to get to us, let alone get me back to where a hospital is. And then that's not even a good hospital. So I'm looking at, I need at minimal 2 hours survival time here, guys. So that, this foam provides that. So there's some good stuff for that, man. I really dig that. I think that's pretty cool. But that's all that I have for that. You know what? That's pretty nifty is what I want to say. But that's all that I have for the Nifty Nerd News this week. Thank you guys for listening this far. Up next, we're going to review a comic book series that I've been reading. And like I said, I've mentioned previously that I have Marvel Unlimited again, and I've been hitting it hard here recently because I've missed a lot of comics since I've last was reading comic books. I think I last sat down and read some, read some books, maybe COVID, so 2020. It's been 5-6 years, and there's been a lot of story, and I've had a lot of catching up to do. And one of the series I wanted to catch up on was The Amazing Spider-Man, because what happens after Superior? Like, I have read part of what happens after Superior Spider-Man, and then I really fell off. I never really read the Nick Spencer run or Zeb Wells run, and so I was like, well, it's time to rectify that. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. And I read those runs, and I didn't really feel much with Nick Spencer's run. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Like, I didn't feel the need to like glaze it and be like, you guys need to check this out, but I also didn't really hate it. But the run after that with Zeb Wells, well, I have opinions on it. So let's take a short break here and come back to what I wanted to review.
Plug in, tune up, press play, let's ride. This is the Bry-Fy, baby, welcome to the vibe.
All right, guys, welcome back to the review portion of the Bry-Fy podcast. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. But like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about Zeb Wells' Spider-Man run from 2022 to 2024. It sounds weird saying 2024 like that. So from 2022 to 2024, it had about, I think, 60 issues. There's, of course, some annuals and other tie-in stuff thrown in there, but 60 issue run. And I don't know, man. So there are some key plots, so we'll talk about some of the key storylines in here. So the series starts off with a 6-month time skip where Peter completely isolated from everyone and everything. Life is in shambles. He's in debt. His family and friends hates him. The Fantastic Four hates him. The Avengers hate him. Aunt May hates him. And then Mary J, you know, like kind of like his one rock has always kind of been there. Like, I mean, they were on again, off again, right? She's living with a new man named Paul and they have kids. Like, first off, one, these kids are way too old to be 6 month old. So, like, what is happening here? Like, did Mary J just meet a man with a family? But the kid kind of looks like her. Like, so this is really strange. And maybe it's just, you know, I'm seeing a redhead child with a redheaded MJ and thinking, like, yeah, that they're obviously mother and child. No, that's not. Like, that can't be right. Like, the timeline doesn't add up, right? And Paul plays a very big role into why a lot of people do not like this run. But we'll kind of get into that in a little bit later. So there, like, you got the time skip stuff and like, what does it mean? What did Peter do? Like, what led to all of this? Throughout the series, you're going to find out what led to this, and really, it has to deal with like the MJ of it all, right? Like that's kind of what gets us to where he's at in this story, and then it just kind of spirals out of there. Another storyline that you get within here is called The Dark Web, which really highlights and focuses on Ben Reilly as Chasm and his girlfriend, wife, Madeline Pryor, who is a clone of Jean Grey and becomes Hollow's Eve, which a really cool character idea, in theory, but I don't know. Like, I honestly do not like Ben Reilly and Madeline Pryor. Like, I don't know what it is about their characters and their personality, but I really hate it, man. And I don't know if this is just Zeb Wells' writing, or if this is what the character of Ben Reilly has become, but he's really like losing himself. He's really upset. Like, I mean, first off, Ben Reilly is a clone of Peter Parker. Like, and then like there was the whole storyline where, like, back in the day where Ben Reilly was actually living as Peter Parker, believed himself to be Peter Parker, and then the real Peter Parker comes back, and Ben Reilly loses everything that he had built as Peter Parker, and his whole world comes crashing down. And then it's like he's never really come back from that. So then he comes back in Nick Spencer's run as the Jackal, and things go really out of hand with another like clone conspiracy saga type thing. And then he becomes Chasm from there and works for the Beyond Corporation, which is this really evil corporation. And now he made deals with the devil and type thing. Like, I don't know, Ben's been through it, and I really don't like it. It's really weird. As someone who's not like a huge Spider-Man reader prior to Superior Spider-Man and not having that big of a dealing with all the clone stuff and things like that, it's a lot, man. And Ben has a lot of angst and a lot of anger in him, which you see a lot in this Dark Web series. And I mean, just in this series in general, man, like there are a lot of feelings throughout Zeb Wells' run, some good, some bad, but like the Ben Reilly of it all, I don't really care for it, man. And he's really upset with Peter Parker for just being Peter Parker, existing. And I get Peter's not always the best person, but like, Ben, you know you're a clone. You know you need a new life. Like, quit trying to take Peter's life. Like, it's not yours. You know this. Move on. Like, that's all he has to do is move on. And he, like, it's like he tries to, but he just can't because Marvel needs to sell comic books. And even his girlfriend, wife, Madeline Pryor, she knows better. Like, she knows to move on, but like, she's his ride or die and is on this journey whether we like it or not. And so if Ben says, hey, we're going to try fuck up Spider-Man, she gonna be like, well, okay, we go full go Spider-Man. Like, I don't know. Like, they end up getting demons to help invade New York because, yeah, that's gonna make things better. I don't know, man. Like, the guy wants to be Peter Parker and Spider-Man and be a hero, but he does the absolute worst job at it. It's upsetting. One good thing that spins out of this, though, is we get a new character. It's a demon turned Spider-Man called Wreck Rap. I think I'm saying, yeah, Wreck Rap, which is just Parker backwards. He's funny. He's basically like Demon Deadpool Spider-Man. I don't know. Like, he means well, though. Like, he's not a bad person. He's just really not great at the whole Spider-Man thing, but like secretly is kind of good at it. But just, I don't know. Like, he's like a great idea with terrible execution, but not in story writing, just in his how he behaves within the story. I don't know. It's really interesting. you have the gang war storyline that happens in this, where it features Tombstone, who is becoming the new kingpin of New York and has this weird abusive relationship with Spider-Man where, they fight each other because, Spider-Man stands for good, Tombstone stands for like gang violence and evil, but like Tombstone knows how to like trick and use Spider-Man to his advantage and to help take down other crime families, so that way Tombstone's the one that stands on top. But Peter also knows how to really push Tombstone's buttons and use his own gang war violence against him to keep him in check and put him in his place. So it's really a very fascinating relationship between these two. And I will say, out of the Zeb Run stories, this is probably my favorite because, one, this is Spider-Man dealing with street level type stuff, which I really enjoy. I think it's a lot of fun. And I think that's where like Peter Parker really does his best work and like some of his most fun work, And so I think it's really cool. With the gang war stuff, though, it's not even just about my gang versus your gang. It becomes father versus daughter because his daughter is like the new Beetle, and she also wants to become the kingpin of crime, the new kingpin of New York. And Tombstone's not really about letting that happen. At first you think it's because he wants to protect his daughter, but then you realize Tombstone's kind of a bad person. But we kind of already knew that, right? So it's really interesting, really, what's going to happen. Can Spider-Man save Tombstone's daughter? Can he save Tombstone? But also get what he wants, and that's like justice and the safety of the city. So there's so much at play here. There's so much, because the gang war storyline to me features the best of what Spider-Man and Peter Parker represent and tries to be. Is he wants to be a hero to save the day and serve justice, but he could easily just start murdering people to fix his problems, but that's not what he is. That's not what he stands for, and that's not what his Uncle Ben would want. And so like this storyline to me really is like the feature storyline in this run, or at least what to me is the top storyline in this run. You do get the Spider Goblin storyline, which is in theory kind of cool. Basically, Norman Osborn is no longer the Green Goblin. He had his Green Goblin sins and serum taken away from him, so he could no longer be the Green Goblin. Does this happen in Superior Spider-Man? I can't remember. I think it happens in Superior Spider-Man where Norman Osborn loses the serum in his body. But it was more than just that. It was more than just having the Goblin serum in him, making him superpowered and things like that. It was like the sins and the evil that lived within him. Well, that gets taken out too. But it's got somewhere to go. It has to go somewhere, right? And it finds its way into Peter Parker, which I guess it could have been a cool story. Basically, Norman Osborn, who is now trying to be good, is like still kind of teeters on it, like teeters on staying true as a good person, but wanting to turn bad or like how easily it could turn bad, how he could turn bad in situations. And so he's kind of in this weird place of fear, but is getting pushed further and further towards where he doesn't want to go. But he has to in order to help Spider-Man and help Peter Parker, who he knows is Spider-Man. So like the idea could have been really good, but I just also kind of didn't like the villainy of Peter Parker. Like, I don't know. It kind of felt like Venom, but not as fun, or like not as funny or fun. But basically it's like rehashing Venom, but now, oh, it's a goblin skin. Like, so I don't know. I just felt like, did I need this? No. I think that's really how I felt about it. And of course, more like demon type stuff goes into play in here, and part of Ben Reilly's storyline kind of branches off to this as well. The Sinister Six gets involved with it, and you do get to see some cool stuff between Spider-Man and Kraven the Hunter, which I thought was really cool and interesting. And I thought that would have been a really cool storyline because you get to see Craven in a whole new light and a whole new emotion, which is fear, which I thought was really interesting. So there were some sparks of good in a lot of these runs, but I feel like none of it really just captured like Spider-Man, like the gang war stuff with Tombstone and all that. And then the last bit, and kind of like the fallout from the Spider-Goblin stuff, is the infamous death of Miss Marvel, which, of course, I love Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, has been my favorite story and comic book to come out of Marvel. And when she first came onto the scene, I was in love right away. This was like the second coming of Peter Parker Spider-Man. It was a character who was like one of us, who is one of us, you know, a nerd, writes fan fiction, has, you know, trouble in home life. Just the life and struggles of Kamala Khan just seem to hit so closely, even to me. I'm 30, going on 38, which is sad. But like, I still love her story so much. I still resonate with her character so much, and not now as like me now, but like as a young teenager and things like that. Like, she to me captures my childhood, and that's why I loved her, and why I still do love her so much. And to have her be killed off in an Amazing Spider-Man storyline, not even in her own book, is just blasphemous and upsetting. And I knew she comes back, because we all know, because like they make her a mutant, right? And whether that's a good or bad thing, I'm still on the fence about. I am now reading Miss Marvel comic books, so we'll probably talk about that soon. But just for it to happen, and really just kind of happen for no reason, because you couldn't kill off a Spider-Man character, like, that's what I felt like. It was like Zeb didn't want to kill off anyone Spider-Man related, so they picked poor Miss Marvel because Marvel had a plan. But whatever, fuck me, fuck them. I don't know. I hated it. I hated how that whole thing played out. It was the worst. And yeah, they're like, oh man, we're so upset. But then, like, you know, a couple issues later, yeah, woohoo, I'm Spider-Man again, whatever. I hate you, Peter Parker. I hate you, Zeb Wells. I don't hate you, but like, this was really not a strong run, man. But like I said, there are things that I did like about it. I liked getting into Peter Parker's personal life. Like those were really cool stuff, you know, like how his actions as Spider-Man affect the Peter Parker person, and how his relationships affect Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I really loved the Tombstone and Spider-Man relationship and all the storylines, how they hate each other, but there's like this weird respect for each other. And I mean, we've talked about how like it's so easy for Spider-Man and Peter to just punch his problems away if he really wanted to let loose and let go, but he can't. Like, that's not him. That's not how he operates. So seeing the struggles and the personality and the seriousness of him trying to actually help Tombstone and help him not become the monster that he could be, like, that's great to me. That I love that part of it. The other thing that I really loved, and I didn't know I was going to really love until it was happening in front of me, was the Black Cat, or Felicia Hardy, and Peter kind of like will they, won't they love stuff. Like, I love that banter. I love that dynamic of those two. I ship it, man. I'm not ashamed to say that. I ship Black Cat and Spider-Man, Felicia and Peter. I get it's really weird because, you know, Felicia is like this socialite, rich girl thief, and Peter Parker is a nerdy, unlucky bastard. Like, she is pure luck and he is pure unluck. Like, and maybe it's because I'm a Libra, they balance each other, in my opinion, you know. Like, I think although Felicia is very so Felicia is just an all-around grounded, great character, I like, honestly, and she can only help Peter, and Peter can only bring her down. But I just love their dynamic. I love what they bring to the table. I like when she is less of a villain and more of a, I guess, anti-hero / vigilante type person. Like, I just enjoy that aspect of her, and I really like how they play off each other, man. I like it more so than I like Mary J. Like Mary Jane, her personality and stuff. I mean, while in some ways are similar, you know, she likes to party and things like that. I don't think I like her and Peter as much as I like Felicia and Peter. Like, I don't know, it's weird, right? And like, part of the things that I dislike and part of the things they try to do in this story is they try to, you know, kind of give MJ that not Black Cat feel, but they do give her powers, and they try to, you know, put her on par with Spider-Man. And so like, hey, maybe it could work out between them, but like, I don't know, man. It's just I am a Black Cat Spider-Man shipper, and that's the end of it. Sorry, not sorry. What I didn't like, though, of course, the Ben Reilly story. That probably rubbed me one of the worst, and the Kamala. Like, those two things probably rubbed me the wrong way the most. Him becoming a major villain for Spider-Man just doesn't feel right to me. It just walk away, Ben. Just go away. That's all you have to do. Of course, I can't dare. How dare you kill Kamala? That's the most upsetting thing. The Norman Osborn stuff, like the will he, won't he turn evil again storyline. I don't know. Like, I really wanted it to be good, but I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to see. One, it's hard to see Norman Osborn as this good guy because this feels more like a what if story than it really feels like a natural progression of the character or anything like that. Because you're just waiting for it to happen. Like the whole and I think that kind of took away from the story. Maybe that was like one of my big issues with Zeb Wells' run is the whole time I'm just waiting for the Goblin to turn back. Like I'm waiting for Norman to turn back. And I'm just waiting to see, like, you know, the other foot fall is basically what I'm waiting for. And a spoiler, it doesn't happen in this run. Like he not weasels his way out, but he finds ways to not have to be that guy, which you know he's going to be one day. Some writer's going to get a hold of him and he's going to be that guy, but it just doesn't happen in this run. I will say the interactions between Norman and Peter made me realize Peter is a jerk. Like, and I get like the things that Norman Osborn has done to him. So yeah, it's really hard to kind of forgive those things, but like Peter is a jerk, like to everybody. Like, he shuts people out quick. Like, he is immediately one to shut people down. And I don't know if that's always been the case. Like, I was thinking that, like, man, like, is this the Peter Parker, like, I've come to know and expect? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I haven't been a huge Spider-Man reader, like I've mentioned. So, like, I guess I don't know what normal is, but it just felt very, like, Peter felt very abrasive this whole series and the way that he talked to even his Aunt May. Like, it felt just so wrong. I don't know. It was off to me. And then, of course, the one of the big things that a lot of people didn't like, and I also didn't really like, was the MJ Paul stuff, which happens during the time skip. And it's really nothing against Paul. Like the character of Paul is really not a bad thing. I think it's just how it felt so forced to come on. So like, basically what happens, a villain shows up in Peter Parker's life or Spider-Man's life, whatever you want to call it, and ends up zapping, MJ to a different multiverse or a different parallel universe or different Earth or whatever. There she finds a man, Paul, and for Peter Parker, it's a span of like 10 minutes of trying to bring Mary Jane back from wherever she was sent. But for MJ and Paul, it was months to like years that she was gone. I can't remember how long it was exactly, but she was in her time frame and timeline. She was gone for a very long time, enough to develop feelings for this man, Paul, because they were stuck together for months or whatever, and then their children, which, as it turns out, their children aren't exactly their children. They were created by the Being or whatever, because that's why they look so much like them, to be replicas, and then they turn evil or they melt away. I can't remember exactly, but the children are gone. I think they melt away. That's what it was. And it's sad. It really is. Like, as a father, like, that's sad. You know, you don't want to see kids leave you and die or whatever. And so I understand that. But I didn't like that it was MJ and Paul. So there was that, man. I don't know. It felt weird, man. Like it just felt like an excuse to not have Peter and MJ have to deal with each other. Like that, and that's really what it is. Like the only way we can make sure like I don't write myself having Peter and MJ deal with each other is by putting her in a relationship with someone else and making it like serious. Like that's the only thing that I could ever think of. Not just not write about her. Like if she's available, then I have to use her, right? No, you don't. Like there's plenty of characters that are available that you don't use, right? And I like there are some fun stuff with this. I think there was some more relationship action with Peter. I think what is her name? Bobby Mockingbird or Mockingjay. There's some interactions there that are really fun and stuff, but it just didn't like she doesn't belong in Spider-Man books. Black Cat does. Felicia does. I don't know. I guess man, I don't know. My overall feeling though is like it has some good character moments, man. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of like the personal relationship stuff I really enjoy, and there's some really good moments in there that really stick with me. But there are just really a lot of things that really felt like a chore to read, or really felt out of pocket for Peter Parker for me. The death of Kamala really pisses me off. That one, the way that it happened, and two, that it happened. Like I just hate it. I did enjoy J. Jonah Jameson, his relationship with Peter Parker. Now that he knows his secret identity, it's fun. Like it's fun seeing their dynamic, and I like how they play off each other. And so and how J. Jonah Jameson, while now trying to be an ally for Spider-Man and Peter Parker, still hates him, but like for different reasons now. So it's fun. Like that to me is a natural progression of the character, right? Like how they play that off. So I really enjoyed that and have fun with that. Jonah is one of the few bright spots in this run for me. I feel so bad for Aunt May. She goes through it, man, and she doesn't know Peter's secret identity. So like to him, he's probably like some druggie who just crashes in and out, is always beat up, and never shows up when needed. like out of like with no context, Peter Parker is the worst human being possible because no one knows he's Spider-Man, right? You don't know this dude's Spider-Man. You just know he's never around. When he is around, he looks beat up or distracted, potentially on drugs. He has mood swings like you wouldn't believe. Like some days he's an angel, the next day he is a literal goblin. Like it just outside looking in, absolutely terrible. Maybe I could do that for like a trash or treasure for Comic Palooza. Anyway, sorry. Where was I? Mary J. getting a family and superpowers. Strange. Like I said, I felt like it was kind of forced. Maybe if they would have just done one or the other, like said, hey, you know what? MJ's got a family now. She's going to focus on that and just be done with it. That would have been one thing. Or, hey, MJ's got powers now. And while they know they can't be together, like they want to team up and do good together. Like that could have been a different thing. But having them both felt just, I don't know, man. It just felt a little too forced, felt a little too weird. Like to me, because like, you know, like the settling down thing, like that, I guess that felt weird because like I remember her from Superior Spider-Man. She was a club owner. Like she's out partying and dancing and having fun and stuff like that. So her just settling down, like, and I get it. Like she was in this other world for months and that probably shook her to her core. So she wants stability and to slow life down. Like I kind of get that to an extent, but I don't know. Like it wasn't the MJ I've come to know and expect. And I just felt kind of weird. And I think that's the thing though. Like, you know, once you start reading comics and you start reading these characters, you start having expectations on how they're supposed to behave and act. And then when they subvert those expectations, it's either going to work good or in some instances, like how I felt in here, not so good. And I don't know. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. Not sorry. But honestly, man, if I had to pick a rating for this, and of course, you know how we rate things, we either give it a neutral charge, meaning meh, like whatever you want to do with it, you do with it, a negative charged, meaning stay away from it, don't check it out, or a positive charge, meaning like, hey, check this book out, you definitely got to read it. This one definitely falls in the neutral charge for me. There's really just, I don't know, man. Like, honestly, you could probably skip it. I don't think there's really much there, like, other than like the Tombstone and Felicia stuff. Those would, like, if you can just buy trade paperbacks of the gang war stuff and things with Felicia, I think that would just be it. Like, that's the part that's worth it to me out of this storyline. Other than, like, no, that's it. That's all I really care about. Other than that, man, I don't think it's worth checking out to me. I'm sorry. Like, nothing against Zeb Wells. Artwork was great. There was a lot of artwork that I liked, and there was some that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like the stuff with Kamala in it, I hated the artwork for Kamala in there because she looks like she's like a 20. She almost looks older than Peter, or like the same age as Peter, when like she's got to be like 10 years younger than him, like in real life, right? Because she's still a teenager, like barely in high school, or senior, or no, maybe a sophomore, junior in high school. And Peter's supposed to be like 25, 24. And she looks same age, if not older, because of how the artwork looks for her when she's in these books. So that was one thing that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way too. But I don't know, man. Like, neutral charge. Read it if you want. If you don't, definitely not going to hurt my feelings. I'm going to look to see if there's a trade paperback for the Tombstone stuff, because that is worth keeping. That is worth having. Other than that, though, that's all that I got for you guys this week. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. Wow, we almost went to an hour. I can't believe I talked for that long. I am so sorry, everyone. I just rambled and rambled and rambled. But hopefully I talked about something that you enjoyed. Talked about a comic book, some storylines with it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, please head over to all my social media. Everything is at Bry-Fy Podcast. That's Bryfy Podcast. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Threads. I'm on, Blue Sky. You can always catch me wherever you catch any of your podcasting apps. And always, you can just reach me over on Podbean. That's Bry-Fy podcast.podbean.com, and you can listen to all of my episodes over there. Of course, they're all on Apple Podcast too as well. And you can also check me out on Twitch it's a Twitch TV / the Bry-Fy, and you can check out YouTube, which also posts old episodes and any kind of streaming that I've done and highlights and things of that matter. I post over there on YouTube as well. So thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you all next week. Bry-Fy out.